Well, we ended up losing another hen. Not really sure about all the shenanigans that are going on up here. The hen was actually laying by the fence with the head missing. So I'm assuming that what happened is they may have ganged up on her, killed her. She got over next to the fence line somewhere, and then something from the outside reached in basically and may have went from there. But anyway, I think the more I'm thinking about it, what I may go ahead and do is just go ahead and get rid of the rooster, and I may go back over, like I've said before, and maybe get another half dozen hens, because I really don't need the rooster for laying eggs. But just trying to, you know, get the rooster where I can hear him crow in the morning, and just to have him around like most farms would. But if I continue to the chickens sleeping on the walkway that goes up there because he won't let them in the house, and every once in a while coming up here and finding one that has passed away. I don't know, it just seems like that there's too many, like I said, shenanigans going on. So we may have to go ahead and have some chicken and dumplings, or find a nice home for him so that I can move forward. Well, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Outpost Review. We actually made another run to North Carolina. I picked up a metal door, frame and all, which, you know, kind of like the ones I put in the cabin. They're about $400, so it did justify a trip to go over there and pick it up. And I also got a couple of pieces of sheetrock to go along with it, which I had sheetrock, but I'll never turn it down. Anyway, I was going to show you what I have been gathering this summer for the upcoming winter. If you've noticed, sometimes when I'm shooting film up here at the kitchen, I've got a lot of these huge garbage bags. What I've been doing is collecting this material. I should have enough. I've probably got 3 garbage bags full. Should have enough for the winter, but I still need to go around picking up some sticks and stuff. This is basically a fire starter, but we try not to let nothing go to waste up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you down there and show you the rocks that we were able to pick up. This rock here is what I chose to go inside the cabin, because since it's a little bit darker inside, this stone right here I think is going to look good on the inside, because it is a lot lighter than the other stone that I picked out. But these primarily are about 1.5 inches thick. The majority of them, I mean, some of them are broken off, a little bit thinner, you know, sheared this way basically. But this will be stuff that I can actually use across the face of those posts and whatnot. But they're all different sizes, and like I said, this is about 2/3 of a pallet. The other third I've got over there, because I don't think it's going to require this much for the area where the firebox or stove is on the inside. But what I've got left over, I'm going to use up there at the kitchen, and I'm going to rock around the grill. So it will, none of it will go to waste. It will all be used, and I may even have enough to do the outdoor oven, the earthen oven, when I get ready to get started on that. But let's move down here where these other rock are that I'm going to use to put around the cabin. This stone right here is basically the same, according to the guy over there. At different levels, when they're digging this out, it comes out different colors, and so then they basically, I guess, separated according to color. But anyway, this right here is a little bit darker and more grayish bluish color, primarily the same width or thickness. So I think this is really going to look good on the outside of the cabin, and I think that the other will look good on the inside of the cabin. Now let's pop through the door. I've got something else to show you. For those of you that may not watch the Outpost channel, we were able to get the windows trimmed out. They both look alike, and they'll all basically look like this. But this is store-bought material because I was afraid if I used anything that I milled up, I may have some shrinkage widthways, so I didn't want to create any gaps around that I would have to go back and repair. But I decided to go ahead and burn it just like I did the exterior, and so there's going to be a whole lot of woodwork going on the inside of the cabin. But this basically is what it's going to look like. The only difference is up top, the piece I used, I made it a little bit longer. And I didn't regularly come out with a window sill plate right here because of walking around it, you know, and since this wall is extra wide anyway, this is deep enough. And it took about 2 days, but the windowsill is already dried. I used the same timber oil on this that I did the big post and beam. So yeah, I think that this is really going to look good once I get all the windows trimmed out, especially with the way that I'm doing the walls with partially plywood and partially sheetrock. So it will pull the two together really nice. A little bit hard to see possibly in here, but I hope that you can tell. The bathroom does have its second coat of plaster on the wall. I need to sand this down and do the third coat. And we decided to go ahead and do the whole bathroom in sheetrock just to have a little bit of difference in this one room. But yeah, it's almost ready to paint, and then I will be trimming it out, and I think it's going to look nice. So it'll be the one room that's going to be a little bit different. It won't have the trim that goes around, the slab wood trim. It will have the window basically though trimmed out with this board right here, which will look good against the wall. But anyway, yeah, so the bathroom, it's nearly complete with the exception of the ceiling. I still have to put that in, but we're making headway. We're moving forward. Well, another thing that has come about recently is there was some interest in the purchase of this tiny home. And I talked it over with the kids because originally when I got this, I was going to move it up here and stay in it and work on the cabin. But then we all decided that, you know, where I was at, it wasn't that expensive. And this basically turned into a big, like a work shed. And I stored a lot of material in here, so it wouldn't have been as easy as we thought in the beginning to live in here, because then I wouldn't have had a place to store my stuff. And I've certainly got enough in the cabin that I've been moving around. Have we moved anything around since you've been here?
I think when you're constructing things and moving in places, you gotta move stuff like
Several
at least
times.
Yeah, 20 times before you figure out the place that needs to go and you can finish the rooms that you're working on.
Then you have to move it again to do another job. But anyway, so the other thing that bothered me about this little tiny house is it didn't resemble anything else up here, and I thought about different ways that I would possibly take slab wood and use on the side of it to kind of make it, you know, blend in with everything else. But we do have someone interested in purchasing it, and I'm getting far enough along the cabin to be able to move this stuff out probably within the next 4 weeks. So if they decide to go ahead and purchase this, then what we've got in mind doing is actually building a garage here, at least a one vehicle garage, with an adjacent workshop attached to that. And more than likely the workshop will be over on this side, because we want to take the area where I've been parking my truck and that big gravel pile and turn this into a small yard, because I'm not going to have that much area up here that will be yard space. It'll be a little bit in front of the cabin, a little bit on the side, and then possibly this area right here, because I do intend to continue the raised beds along the bank because there's not a whole lot I can do with it. But we were talking today about, what kind of a design were we going to use for the garage workshop. It may be another timber frame type structure, but more of a log, square log actually, butt and pass type joints, which will require quite a few trees. But that's not anything that we're lacking on. So maybe over the winter time I will go pick out enough trees that we can actually cut. I've actually got some standing around the house that are going to have to come down. So I don't think we're going to be, hunting too hard for the trees that we're going to need to build the garage and the workshop. But that's kind of what we got planned there, and so when we build that, of course, it will tie in with everything else we've got up here, and we'll also have a young lady that we're going to make happy with the purchase of her own little home. She wants to do the tiny living thing, so that's what we're thinking about doing. So anyway, just wanted to bring you guys up to speed on the possibility of this being moved and a new building being under construction. Well, another thing that we're really excited about, and I told him, I said, why don't we mention this? Blue Eddy is a company that also makes power stations, just like the EcoFlow that we got, but the one that they're sending us is a little bit larger. So you all be looking for that on the Outpost channel. We're actually going to do kind of a review, but I will be using it on some different things. Now it is larger than the EcoFlow that we've got, which
I think so.
2,000 watt hours, and the EcoFlow with the backup is 14 something. So we're excited about getting that, especially in an off-grid situation. So you guys be looking forward to that. We hope to do a good review on that. So anyway, we thought what we would do is take some time and answer some of the questions that you guys have.
It's about that time. Question time with Ricky Bobby. How often do you change the oil in your tractor?
The oil in the tractor I follow the maintenance schedule. It's coming up due probably in about 30 hours. So first of all, when I first got it, after you crank it up and you run it a little bit, they suggested changing the oil. Then I did that. Then they suggested changing it. What was it, 100 or 200?
I want to say 100.
It may have been 100 hours, and then the next change was going to be at 400 hours. So I do keep a periodic check on it. It hasn't lost any oil, and it appears still to be or look good. That doesn't really have anything to do with the viscosity, but it doesn't look dirty. So, but that will be coming up fairly soon. We're going to have to change the oil in the sawmill and in the generator too. So that's something that we're going to have to do. Possibly we'll do it next time that he comes up. The other thing too is the sawmill. I noticed the cut was a little bit off recently on some material that I cut up, and I had taken the feet off of it, but I was telling him that it could be in part due to some of the really heavy logs, and if it rains a lot like it does in the winter, there's a possibility that maybe the footers sunk a little bit on one side. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jack it back up, put the feet on, but this time we'll use screws and screw the plate of the foot down. That way it doesn't move any, and it does have bolts, where you can raise and lower it within, what, 1.5 inches probably. But that way we can get the sawmill level, and if it does get out of level, we can adjust it. Yeah, because I don't have any way of adjusting it right now, but that'll be coming up.
We've mentioned it a couple of different times, or you have, about why you char the timber, but I noticed that just recently we've been getting a couple of questions from more than just one or two people about why we char the lumber, and I think that it should be noted that it's for a couple of different reasons. Some of it is for looks, because we don't really char it heavily. And then the other reason is, it was the old Japanese method for preserving the wood.
It waterproofs it somewhat, makes it last longer.
Yeah.
They used to burn out canoes, not only to get the debris out, but it helped to keep it, from getting waterlogged. And, they did the same thing with troughs for the animals to hold water, where they would dig out a big hole, in the log, and then it would basically hold water a whole lot better. But yeah, the Japanese have done it for a long time, and you can even find commercial companies now that burn it, and they have different grades of burn, from dark to medium dark to medium to so on and so forth, and you can purchase it however you want it. But I think it really looks good once you add the oil to it, and especially the pine, because with the grain of the pine and the way that it takes the burn, makes it look really good. Now, like the poplar, he was asking me yesterday, he said, why did we char the poplar so dark? I said, because
that's what we made the timber.
Yeah, when you burn it, it just turns out black. So all wood burns a little bit different. But I like the way that the pine looks once it's been burnt.
Some people mentioned that they really enjoyed the canning segment that Jennifer was doing on our Smoky Mountain Outpost channel. They said it brought back memories of their grandmother's house and stuff. So I'm glad to see that you guys are enjoying that. Somebody asked, what made you decide on getting Smokey a playmate?
Well, for a long time I thought that it would be nice if he actually had a playmate that would be able to keep him busy out here besides me, because I'm constantly either trying to shoot video or I'm trying to set up to work to shoot video, and he constantly demands throwing sticks and doing this and doing that. So she is keeping him busy quite often. I mean, he still demands a lot of things, and she's learning. And then the people that had her, they were going to have to get rid of her because they were moving. And when I found out she was a young pup, that still gave me a little bit of a chance to try to train her. I mean, she's still a little on the wild side because, she hasn't been living out like this, like what he's used to, but she enjoys everything that he's been doing, and she's picking up quite fast on a lot of the lifestyle out here. But I think it was a good thing, and having two dogs, you can never go wrong with having a dog out in the wilderness like this, because they do come in handy, letting you know who and what's around, and kind of help keep an eye on things.
Yeah. I noticed that those who follow our Smoky Mountain Outpost channel, I started, there's a little community section where I post like questions or comments or whatever, and I noticed that you guys were commenting on a lot of them. So if you haven't yet joined our Smoky Mountain Outpost channel, go over there and give it a follow. We'd super appreciate it. And then you may be able to hop on a comment. You never know what happens in the comment section. Sometimes we give stuff away and so on and so forth. But we had somebody ask about the model of Husqvarna that you use. I thought it was a 455.
The Husqvarna?
Yeah. The Rancher, 455 Rancher?
455 Rancher, and the still is an MS 180.
Which we're giving two of them away at 40,000. So if you help us hit 40,000 on our main channel, Smoky Mountain Outpost, we're giving away two still MS 180s.
We're just about 2,000 away from doing that too.
Just about.
So
yep.
That'll be exciting to see two of those nice chainsaws go out to two lucky winners.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we're still doing our regular monthly giveaways. These are part of our new milestone giveaways that we're doing. And if you're new to this channel or the Smoky Mountain Outpost channel, go to our website. The three little bars up in the top right-hand corner.
If you're on your phone.
If you're on your phone, click on that, and it will drop a menu down where you can go in there, and all the details on how to enter and what we're going to be giving away at each milestone is there. So we're excited about doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do want to say too, because we get all kinds of comments, and we also get emails, which we know that you guys can't see. But sometimes we do reviews on the main channel, and a lot of the companies that reach out to us are reaching out to us on behalf of the main channel because of the content, not only the content that we have, but also the amount of subscribers and the locations that they're in around the world. So you will see some reviews done on the main channel, and you will see some done on the other channel. You know, we get comments like, for example, you know, this would be better done on the review channel.
Yeah.
We do it how we do it for a specific reason. So, you know, this Blue Eddy that is coming, that will be a review that will be done on the Outpost channel. But it will be something that we would want the majority of our followers to see, because it could be something that they may have need of, that we haven't even seen it yet. So we're excited about it coming and getting here, so that we can check it out, use it, and then review it for you guys, because I've said before, this is one way that we communicate, you know, and so if we can communicate something to you about a nice product that we were able to run into that you're not aware of, well then, you know, that just makes your life better off if it's something that you can use, purchase, and it helps you out. So that's the difference between the review channel and the Outpost channel. Now mainly also, we've had people wanting us to explain things that we're doing on the Outpost channel. That channel is not set up for that. That channel is me up here working. I may stop and explain a little something, but it's not a how-to channel. It's just me up here working, doing my lifestyle, you know, here on the homestead, and, you know, you guys being able to follow me along and watch me do the different projects and things like that. But the review channel, we may take more of an opportunity to sit here and talk about something in specific that we've done. And if you've got questions, comment, you know, and I'll try to get to them. But that's the reason that we started this channel, so that we would have the opportunity to talk in detail, because I don't do that a whole lot on the other channel, because it just takes up time out of, you know, what I'm doing. And
well, there was also, I mean, we used to do more talking on the Smoky Mountain Outpost channel, but then a lot of our followers also, they preferred us to, you know, they preferred to watch just working. And so then, you know, coupled with a couple other things, we're like, you know, why don't we make a second channel where we can just sit down, talk, explain some things, walk around, you know, give some more insight to. We thought it would be better for you, that so for those who like to watch longer form, talk, you know, behind the scenes stuff, you could then come follow this channel, and it wouldn't interrupt people who just like to watch the work.
Any more questions there?
Yeah, somebody had asked, why don't you stick lumber for some of your projects?
I do. I stick lumber all the time. The slab wood, you know, if I'm in a big hurry, I may throw it over there, but most of the lumber that's stacked around here has been sticked.
If you remember,
all the material for the cabin has been stuck. The thing about that is I don't have the ways and means to cover up everything that I've got. I also didn't really have the time, you know, a couple of years in advance to come up here and cut the timber and let it lay and be dry out. So a lot of this has been done using green material, you know, which is pretty much how people used to do it anyway. But, you know, when you're working with sawmill lumber, you just have to plan for it, you know, and design everything around knowing that you're going to have some shrinkage. Now, most of it, it only shrinks in width. It doesn't shrink in length. But you have to keep that in mind when you're using that kind of material. But there's stickers laying everywhere around here. But, you know, I've got ideas that are off in the future about cutting some timber that I could use, which I may stick, and then let it dry out for a couple of years. But that's the thing, even if I let some wood lay for over the year and use it next year, it's still going to shrink some because it takes more. And this is a really humid place. I know that I could seal the log and slow down the process, the shrinking process, but I just decided to go ahead and use the green lumber, and then for anything that was going to be tedious type work like framing out the windows, or if I was to do something in the kitchen, I'm just going to go ahead and buy that lumber from the lumber yard, because I know that it's pretty much going to be dried out. So I've saved a lot of money. I haven't bought that much lumber from the store at all, but saved a whole lot of money in having the sawmill and cutting my own lumber. Well guys, another project that we've been talking about, and I've mentioned this before, but is an entrance down there at the driveway coming in. Of course, share the driveway with my neighbor, but hopefully sometime in the near future we'll be able to start working on that. It's going to require several trees, and probably have to fix the boom back up on the tractor to be able to lift some of the timbers up in the air. But I don't know if he's going to let me put Outpost there or not. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe just Homestead. That way it would either be his or mine. But anyway, I'm just kind of teasing right now. But we were talking today that I do need to put up a mailbox, so I have to keep that in mind to go down there and put up a mailbox so that I can start receiving mail here instead of over there at my sister's house. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and cut the video off here. We really appreciate you guys stopping by and supporting this channel and our other channel as well. If you're new to this one, go check out Smoky Mountain Outpost. That's our main channel, and hopefully we answered some of the questions that you guys have. Again, be sure and go and check out the information on how to get in on our giveaways, because we're doing that on both channels every month. Plus we have these new milestone giveaways that we're really excited about, and it's all because you guys help to support us, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have a channel, would we?
Neither one of them.
No. Yeah, we wouldn't have either channel. But that's one reason that we do the giveaways, so that you guys can benefit in the growth of the channel along with us. Anyway guys, we hope that you have a great day. Everyone take care, and we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.